Well, Police and Prisons Civil Rights Union President Zizamele Cebekhulu has criticised private jails, saying government must sever ties with them because they prioritise profits over public safety and rehabilitation. Let's bring in the Popcru president this morning. Zizamele, good morning to you. I appreciate your time. Why do you make that comment? Why do you think that private jails are not a good idea? Good morning.
Good morning, Gareth, and your viewers. One, the reason why we say they must sever the tie, I think they were not correctly piloted, and that is why we feel that the contract must be severed as soon as possible. But on top of that, we feel that the regulator who regulate the two entities, the relationship between the two entities, I think has gone to a lapse. And he has at many times pretended as if he or she don't see things happening in private prisons that are not in line with human rights and that are not in line with the standards of incarceration. And they've also not made a report really that impress us that private prisons have better programs of rehabilitation than the public prisons. And we feel that is why we feel that we must sever the relationship with them. More especially in the case at hand, we feel that correctional services and overseer of private prison could have done better than what they've done. And they have to be also on the blaming side on the lapse of security.
Well, some people are suggesting, Zizamele, and there's been a lot of outcry about this, the way that government has handled this, the lack of information, the lack of communication. When we started having this debate about private jails versus the public jails, that the suggestion is that government and public jails probably won't be any good based on how many other aspects of public sector work in South Africa don't operate the way that they should do. For example, SAPS, there's criticism there, Home Affairs, health departments. I'm sure you understand where I'm going with this. There isn't much trust in government at the moment, just generally. Why should we, and why do you think it should be worth the South African public trusting government to run prisons instead of private companies?
Yes, Gareth, I'll confine myself on the issue of the private prison. Now, I think there have been a lot of secrecy in handling the contract of the private prison. I remember somewhere in 2014, we made attempts to find out who are the above the board, who are the owners of the company, and nobody wanted to give us a response. And it is very important. That was a very important request to us, because that is how a company of this nature could be made accountable, and also that is how the company of this nature could be made to be open on a lot of things that we want to know. How do they comply with certain laws in our country? Like, for instance, the BEE law in our country. What is the share? What is the share between the two, between the private prison and the BEE? And who are those who are in the BEE side? And now that we are faced with this situation, we also want to ask them, those on the BEE side, as to why are they keeping quiet when such things are happening in the private prisons?
I want to get your thoughts as well on what happened yesterday in Parliament. Zizamele, what did you make, now that we are talking private prison management versus being run by government? What did you make of what came out of Parliament yesterday when we saw G4S, and there's no other way to describe this, getting absolutely ripped apart by MPs? What did you make of what G4S had to say about how they handled this?
I think G4S, Gareth, they are in a trip not of assisting our government or the society in South Africa to find out what happened in their institution. But they are in a trip of trying to conceal information so that they could be able to save their contract in this country. But I feel that on top of that, they undermine our government. And the undermining of our government is informed by the BEE partner that is there, who I think are the one who help these guys to undermine our government.
Appreciate your time. Zizamele Cebekhulu joining us this morning, Popcru president, making it very clear their view on a private management of jails in South Africa. I'm sure it's going to be a big talking point over the next few days as we continue with this breaking news. I say thank you very much to Zizamele joining us this morning.